Good night, everybody. What is going on? Yes, it's your boy, Pat Bernard. I am on It's a Rap Sports Network, filling in for my main man, Big Sal. And it's an honor and a privilege to be back home here with this great company. I know you guys saw earlier the Matty B show. You saw my man, Mike Lauro, on the Clear of the Ice. It feels good. It feels like I got the EOP drive back, and it feels great to be with these great gentlemen here. But I'm filling in here tonight, just getting started with my role here with It's a Rap Sports Network. And guys, if you haven't yet, give it a follow on all your social media platforms, as you saw today, as I did this evening and out through the course of the day. I've been sharing about this hot brand new network that's out here, whether it's on my Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, you name it. It's a Rap Sports Network. It's going to be the newest, hottest thing out there. So if you haven't done it already, subscribe. It's going to be the best thing coming. I'm telling you, it's the new thing out there. But anyway, let's get right into business. And I want to start off. I'm going to start with some hoops because the 76ers in the last 2 days have put away Texas. Yesterday they started in Dallas. Yesterday they took care of business against the Dallas Mavericks. And again, Dallas Mavericks were banged up other than Klay Thompson doing his thing. But then, tonight against the Houston Rockets, a team that only has 2 injuries, the 76ers go down and handle business. And a lot of 76ers fans probably don't care. They're probably cashed out on this team. But if you, however, 76er fans, there are some out there who are looking for bright spots for the future. This team is loaded with injuries. 11 guys, mind you, are out on the 76ers team. However, they got these young puppies, these young dogs that are making plays. And it's answer yourself the question, could this season have been saved if they would have ran with these young cats instead of signing like the Paul Georges of the world? And 76ers fans probably got the news today that he's out for the rest of the year. Joel Embiid out for the rest of the year. It does make you believe that this team could probably have gone on a little bit of a run with the young guns that they got in now. And let's start out with one of the young guns, Quentin Grimes. 28 points yesterday, 37 today. And they got him in a trade. It was probably one of their better trade acquisitions, getting rid of Caleb Martin for this kid. I will give Daryl Morey that. You have to give him to that. You have to give him you got to throw him his rose petals. Jeff Down Jr. coming off the bench, being a playmaker. I mean, the 76ers are at the point where they're grabbing guys out of the subway station and plug and playing these kids. And it's working. The best part is it's working. Jared Butler is showing you he can play. He's got a nice little pull-up jump shot. Shows you he's got some nice spin moves. He can make plays in the paint. The team was very effective from beyond the arc. They were shooting threes today. 76ers are showing you a thing or two with the young cats, with the unknown subway station guys. Baffles your mind, right? Where was it? You're probably saying, where was this team all year round? Well, all they had to do is take Joel out of the picture a long time ago. Take Joel Embiid out of the picture a long time ago. The bench has come alive. Jeff Down Jr. Look, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Quentin Grimes, 5 3-pointers, 12 rebounds. He had a double-double in this game against one of the better NBA teams. Justin Edwards, 18 points. Jared Butler, 19 points. They don't even have a center. And they're doing things. This Jalen Hood Schnaffner, I never even heard this kid before. Picked him up from Wawa. I mean, they're grabbing guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure this guy worked underneath the mascot, Franklin. I mean, they're getting anything that works now. But it's working. That's the crazy part. Look, how do we not know that the 76ers didn't have this bench all along? Had this farm system all along. And the bigger question is, why didn't the 76ers front office try this move earlier in the season? I get it. You paid big money. But come on. A casual basketball fan, knowing this had an aging, expiring date on it, like Eric Gordon, he's been injured since February. Early Kyle Lowry, he was only here because he's Nick Nurse's boy. Tyrese Maxey's now hurt, and it doesn't matter. The kids are coming in. These kids now want to make that NBA paycheck. They're not getting paid what those guys are getting, and use them. It's just a shame that the season is lost. And what could have been? What's up, Joe? What's up, dog? He goes, hey, how are you doing tonight? Joe, I'm doing great. Like, it does baffle your mind about the 76ers team. Like, it's a shame because when you look at the Wells Fargo Center and realizing that there's going to be no playoffs, first time in a long time. Right, you look at the hockey team, that's a complete mess. For you lacrosse heads out there, the Wings are a mess. But, I mean, at least the 76ers are showing you some hope for next October. If they're smart enough, they put themselves in this bear trap with these old veteran guys. I don't know if it was to sell merch. I don't know if it was to draw people to come down to the Wells Fargo Center. I don't know but any casual fan would tell you this was going to be a bad move. The Sixers should be up big. Yeah, they should be. On paper, though. Joe, this team on paper. Like, that's the thing, Joe. Like, this team on paper is designed to play and compete, according to Daryl Morley. This team should be able to compete with the big dogs, with the Boston Celtics, with the New York Knicks, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they're not. They're not with the team that they were rolling out with. It's not good enough. They were old. They were broken down. No one fears Joel Embiid anymore. He's broken down. It's crazy because I remember at a time when Eric Lindros was must-watch TV. You had to watch everything that he did when he touched the ice. And after that concussion hit, it was over for him. And that's where I feel like that's wrong with Joel Embiid. That I enjoyed these days with him. He was must-watch TV when he came into the league. He was doing things that no other big man I've seen do before. But he got swallowed up by the injury bug and spitting out. And he's no good. And the more he gets on the floor, it's only going to hurt the 76ers. The team can't get into a rhythm. There's no team chemistry. But we're past all that now. We're at the point that it's built for the future. And you have young cats now. And like I said, it does raise the question. It does. You ask yourself, if they would have just rolled with these young cats who are hungry, who got the hungry dog, who got the eye of the tiger, if you will. These guys want to make a stance, want to make a move, want to audition for, if not the 76ers, for everywhere else. He goes, Joe Halleck goes, I want to see the 76ers build around Quentin Grimes. Yeah, and they should, Joe. They got some pieces in play, right? They got Tyrese Maxey. They got Jared McCain, who's excellent from the 3-point, from beyond the arc. But they got other guys. Jared Butler, who could dash, who can make some moves down and low, who could create space. Another young piece. Yeah, again, they got young guys who can shoot. They need a center. Dame Bona is not going to cut it. Gershon Upaseli is not going to cut it. He's too small to play the 5. You need a big man. And not an aging old star big man. I need an up-and-coming, some built through the draft with a big name. You can't. They don't have a down low presence that's scary. You can't really run the 3-2 defense. But what you have. Yeah, with the 76ers, they had to play the 2-3 zone. And this team today played better defense on the perimeter. And that was one of the biggest problems with the 76ers team all year round, is that they couldn't play perimeter defense. Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, that's why you saw a lot of Joel Embiid coming up to the perimeter trying to give help. They couldn't play perimeter defense. You just couldn't. And like I said, for this team to have 11 guys out of their lineup, grabbing guys from the subway station, grabbing guys from Wawa, grabbing guys from the Giant Market, and wherever you go to food shop, and Acme. They suited up anybody. Justin Howard was a good draft choice by the Sixers. Yes, and he played well tonight. 18 points, 4 threes. This team shot well from beyond the arc, Joe. He was a good pick. He was a good pickup. Not all is lost with the 76ers. They're not probably going to make the playoffs. But seeing flashes of the young guns blazing, it does give me hope. I don't know if we have the right guy, though, in the front office to make the right calls. I don't know that. I can't tell you. Elton Brand, Daryl Morley, are those guys the right 2 guys? And it's crazy because, again, it goes back, and I don't want to move on too far from the 76ers, but it does sting, right? And it's probably going to lead me into the next topic in a little bit. Going from the 76ers, going from the Philadelphia Eagles, and that drop off from the Eagles to the Wells Fargo Center, giving you absolutely nothing. But, I mean, like I said, don't want to lose sight of the 76ers because they've been playing extremely well. They did. They've been playing extremely well for the last 2 days. I mean, yesterday in Dallas, they played well. Again, Quentin Grimes, 28 points. Again, a viable bench. And again, I know Dallas Mavericks were banged up. Dallas Mavericks were banged up. But however, the 76ers took advantage. And again, building momentum. Now you put away one of the better teams in the league. We all see Dallas is deflating. Ever since they lost Luka to the Lakers, that team has been deflating. It's not the same team. I'm talking about aging. They got Spencer Dinwiddie, who played a little better yesterday. You got Klay Thompson, who played okay. But outside of that, and P.J. Washington, outside of that, they really don't have anything going for them. But however, you played against a young, upcoming team like the Houston Rockets, and Houston tonight had a problem, a 76er problem. And when you look at the 2 teams on paper, you probably think that the 76ers have no business even being in Houston. And they played well. I'm very excited. The season's lost. I'm already checked out. They're not going to make the playoffs. And that's okay because, in all honesty, if you ain't first, you're last, to use Ricky Bobby quote. Because this team wasn't, the way that they're currently constructed, they're not going to win anything. I hope Daryl Morey gets fired. I want the old GM from the Warriors. Yeah, but what does that really do? I hear you, Joe. Bringing in a guy who's won multiple. Yeah, but did he really win, or was that Steph Curry a nice draft choice by then, and they got lucky with the Splash Brothers? You know what I'm saying? Because they're not even irrelevant. They just got Steph Curry as just an old name. Andre Drummond ain't nothing. They're not even that powerful in the West. So it's like I said, it all depends what the 76ers can do. And we'll see what happens moving forward. And like I said, there are some pieces. Like I said, Jeff Downing Jr., you got Jared Butler, Derek Green. You get guys out of, other guys are this kid Brisket, O'Shea Brisket, who's made plays. Justin Edwards, who made plays. I mean, guys are doing things for this team. 18 points for Justin Edwards today. 19 points for Jared Butler. He's got a nice game. Lonnie Walker, even though he's hurt today, I mean, he showed you. I mean, this team is showing you that they're loaded with guys who want to play. And sending these guys looking at excuses to get hurt. Paul George doesn't even show. I can't say Paul George is cashed out. He's hurt. He's hurt for the rest of the year. You know what? That's good. Good for the 76ers. Good. I'm glad that he's not going to be on the part of the roster moving forward. Give someone else some time. Paul, keep Kyle Lowry out of the lineup. Do you think Nick Nurse gets fired? If so, who would you want as a head coach? I don't see, it's funny because, and this goes, I feel the same way about him as I do about John Tortorella. Like, I don't know if I could get the full playbook of Nick Nurse, Joe Howe, because he don't have the complementary pieces. He has nothing to cook with. He's got banged up pieces in the kitchen. And that's where I feel like I'm with him and John Tortorella. John Tortorella really don't have nothing to work with other than a few pieces, but he's got nothing to cook. But to your question, I don't think they're going to fire him. But if they did, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see there's really a coach that I want right now. And I mean, they're not going to, the only coach I want right now is that kid Joe Zulli from Boston. He's young. He wants to watch his bench get in. Like, he's got, when you get your team that's all bought in from start lineup to bench to mascot, like, you got a successful thing going there. A standard of excellence. Boston Celtics has, and they've been having that for years. We can boo, get mad, and scream and kick and holler about the Boston Celtics. Guess what? The Boston Celtics were on the same basketball since they've been doing since as long as I can remember, since the Bird days. They've always had a standard of excellence. They've always found themselves in the driver's seat, if not competing for the NBA championship or close to it. But that's been the Boston Celtics' whole revival. You go from Bill Russell, you've had Larry Bird, you had the big three out there. Yeah, and a lot of people want Sam Cassell. My old broadcast partner, Mike Laro, wants Sam Cassell to be a head coach, and rightfully so. He probably deserves a shot at it. But, I mean, what can you really do when you have – here goes the thing, a better question for you, Joe. Since the Brett Brown era, right? You had Brett Brown, Doc Rivers, now Nick Nurse. 3 head coaches, and they've all have the same answer. They can't get out of the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs, as far as they go with Joel Embiid. That's as far as the talent gets them to go. And now, with Joel Embiid being banged up, where now your superstars out of the equation, now this falls on the coaching. And he's got to dial up something creative, and it's hard to do. Now this looks like the best version of Nick Nurse basketball because he's got a bunch of young cats that want to be that's bought in and want to play for this team. But let's move on, right? Let's go on to this hockey team that's been a complete disgrace for quite some time. Again, they get shut out tonight. They got shut out against Carolina over the weekend. They were 0-5 tonight on the power play. And it's a shame. Because the only thing, again, looking to build stars for the future. And I want to know from Flyer fans, where exactly are you with this team? Who are you bought into? Some people are not even really sold on Mitchkov. It's crazy it sounds because Mitchkov sounds like the only promising piece out of this whole thing. And maybe Finotov, because Finotov's actually been playing better at the goalie position. But who are you sold on for next year? Uh-oh. Okay, thank you, Matt. Matt, my man, Matty B, the mayor of Mayfair. He is bringing up the numbers there. And look, there goes the numbers, right? This team, it just showed you. Look, 0-5, 12 minutes. 12 minutes did the Tampa Bay Lightning spend in the sin bin. Now, Kucherov turned he pickpocketed Travis Konechny, taking the puck the opposite direction and finds the back of the net. And that was really good. I mean, that's really good for Tampa Bay Lightning fans, of course. Not good for us. But you had Kucherov. What's up? She goes, Flyers have the worst roster in the NHL. Listen, Barbara, I hear you. They do have the worst roster in the NHL. Barbara, this team can't score on power plays. It's been the same nonsense been going since AV. This is the worst power play unit. They haven't changed it. It's disgrace, Barb. The Flyers do. Hi, Maddie. I miss you. Hi, Barb. Wow. Yeah, Barb, this is a disgrace. Barb, who are you bought into? I mean, there's levels of concerns with this hockey team. And the obvious answer is going to be want to move on from John Tortorella. But what does that do? What does that do for Flyers fans? Does that really move the needle? Does that really get you excited because they're going to have to find a head coach? This is what I mean with this franchise. And again, there's going to be no playoff atmosphere at the Wells Fargo Center. And it sucks because I'm a fan of all the teams here in Philadelphia. And I love hockey. Flyers are my favorite squad in the town. It's been my passion. But when I see this all the time, it hurts. Total team breakdown on the second line has as awful defensemen are not solid and on goalies. Not solid on goalies. Yeah, not solid on goalies. The goalies, the defense has been horrendous, right? Since Sean Walker has departed from this team. Right, Barbara? Finotov looks okay. He played very well tonight. And the numbers are right there. He played very, very well. It's just the offense. There's no life in the offense. There's no life in the defense. Does that fall back on the coach, or are they not bought into his message no more? Or, I mean, because if you looked at last year, and I know it's a little bit different circumstance because once they lost Carter Hart and that whole thing, once they lost Carter Hart and you put all the pressure on Sam Harrison. But again, you look at Sam Harrison all year, I think he's been the key X factor of what this Flyers team was to make it or break it, right? Because if you look back around December, you had Finotov, you had Kozlov that were in there for Sam Harrison, and they played decent. It was a decent rotation between the two. The offense was making plays, the defense was making plays. Sam Harrison tries to get himself back in the rhythm. Now, I don't know something behind the scenes if there's an injury that's kind of lingering with him and it's kind of on real estate in him. The power play sucks. Joe Hale says the power play sucks for the Flyers. It feels like they are last in the league in power plays. Dude, they suck. They suck. And when you stink this bad on power plays off season, this kind of stuff has to linger. Whether it's a head coaching change, whether it's assistant coach, whether it's a power play, something needs to change. Their power play has sucked for quite some time, Joe. But back to my point, it's lingering with this hockey team. It's a shame. And, again, what pieces am I really excited for the future? And if you listen to the last Danny Briere post-game interview or press conference, excuse me. You listen to his press conference, and I know who asked him the question. I'm a good friend of my buddy Eric. But he asked him the question, when is this team going to start adding? And his answer was, I don't know. When can we stop subtracting and when can we start acting, to be perfectly what was said? And he said, I don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know? Is my thing. A couple weeks ago when they come out of the All-Star break, this Flyers said the same thing, that they were going to make a push to the playoffs. And then when they start going into the losing spell, they start taking those L's. It was right back to, well, you know what? Let's go to safe haven. We're just going to rebuild. That's what we'll just tell our Flyers fans that we're just going to rebuild. So, which one is it? Which is it? Is it we rebuilding or we pushing? Which way are you pulling your fan base? If this is a rebuild, fine. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this team stinking. But when's it going to move forward? And I keep on asking this. And I'm going to ask to It's a Rap Sports audience. This team has done nothing for Travis Konecny. Travis Konecny has been here for almost a decade. We haven't made the playoffs in 5 years. He's only been in the playoffs 2 or 3 times. When are we going to – I thought the key was to build around him at the time, him and Provy. Nothing. So here we are with a new regime, with a new kid on the block. How much time are we going to build? How longer it's going to take? I'll put it like this. I'm not a gambling man at all, but I'm willing to tell you that the Pittsburgh Penguins and the way they build things out there, will be right back in the square of things once they move on from Crosby and once the Crosby story is over. They'll get into the cup faster than we will. They'll rebuild faster than we will. It's just something out there in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, they go from Marion Lemieux to Crosby. They don't skip a beat. Franchises like that don't skip a beat. Yes, you are supposed to build through the draft. Yes. But you're also supposed to be making wheels and deals and trading and building around your future piece. And when is that? And I know they're going to get a lot of cap space this summer. And listen, Danny Briere loaded up with draft picks for the next couple of years. And I'm excited for that. And we're blessed to have that. But I don't know, man. I guess, look, I've been almost on this earth for 40 years. I've only seen 2 cup runs. And I've blessed guys like my dad who sold back-to-back cups. A cool cup run in was that 85, somewhere in the 80s, long before my time. But like I seen one in the 5th grade and one in 2010. It's been 15 years since I saw a cup run. The bad teams around us are getting better. The Montreals, the Columbus, Ohio. I mean, the Blue Jackets. They're all getting better around us. And this team is still in the basement. If you're not a hockey fan and you're just checking this for the first time, I've always made the comparison to the Philadelphia Flyers being that Sacramento Kings, the Cleveland Browns, the bottom feeders, and that's where they stick at the tank. They stick right at the bottom. I just felt like this, and I don't know. I guess the more so is, do you believe in Danny Briere? How much more of a leash does he got in your eyes? I guess that's the bigger question. And when can he turn his franchise around? And if it comes down to, if I'm glad he loaded up with picks, but it's about getting the right pick, getting the right guy in here, getting the right pieces in here, getting the right assets. Can he do it? Can him and Keith Jones do it? We'll see. Time will tell. Because I'm tired of hearing about the 5-year window. We'll be there in 5 years. I've been hearing that 20 years ago. We'll be there in 5 years. I've been hearing for the last decade that this, we got the best farm system ever, and nothing's reached the surface yet, other than Mishkov and Travis Konecny. That's about the only 2 players I've seen in this farm system that's reached the surface that's turned out to be out anything. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens there, because until like 15 years ago, the Flyers had the 2nd best record in history of the NHL. Barb, yes. But isn't that painful to say? Like 15 years ago. Like it's painful. Years have gone by. Years. Flyers, Barber also says the Flyers need to hit big on lots of the draft picks. That's for sure. We need stars. Yeah, Barb, we do. We need stars. Stars all over. Like, I'm tired of going to a Flyers game, Barb, just because it's Star Wars night. Just because it's Marvel night. How about let's go to the Wells Fargo Center and let's get a win night. You know what I'm saying? Joe asks, is there any good players in the Phantoms? That's hard to tell, because again, I thought the players that it's hard to tell, Joe. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's hard to tell, because I haven't seen anything that come up from the farm system lately. I mean, other than the players they got now, like Emily, Andre, and stuff. It's hard. Pretty sure they do. Barbara says Coots, TK, etc. aren't part of the future. No, Coots, I don't see him being here long term. I think he's going to be cashed out within the near future. TK, Barb, I will say he'll be wearing a C, but he's going to be an older player. Yeah. I think he'll be part of the future. I think he's going to be the captain of the team. If that makes, I don't know what that does for anybody anymore, but I'm with you. I definitely think Coots is out of here. That's for sure, Barb. Barb says Flyers need Roseman to phony up contracts. Yeah. Yes, Barb. Yes. And I know my man, Matty B. the number one Howie Roseman fan. The number one. He's probably got posters of him on his wall now after getting this 2 Super Bowls. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, they need it. It's a shame there's not a Howard Roseman. There's only one Howard Roseman, right? Joe House says it would be surprised if the Flyers traded a couple first round picks for a top star. Well, listen, and that's what some Flyers fans want, right? They want to get a top star. I still think you need to build through the draft and bring in an upcoming star. I mean, so we're, so with the Pittsburgh Penguins done, right? They build with Malkin, they build with Crosby, they build Gonzo, they build stars. Tampa Bay, they built through Stamkos. You need to do that. Like when it looked all was lost for the, and again, I'm not trying to compare apples to oranges, though. But this has been a disappointing season for me because even when I thought the New York Rangers were going to fire P. Laviolette and their season was completely lost in December, at the same time that the Flyers and Rangers were competing in that 8th seed somewhere. You remember? Like it was around Christmas time. It was, I think it was like right after Christmas. They were like right at both competing for like the 8th seed. The Rangers went all the way to like near bottom of the standings and battled back. They're in the 8th seed. They're battling, and here we are. And I get it. Rangers have way better pieces than we do, but still, I mean, like, why can't we get it right? Why? Like, and I get it. Maybe a lot of people are fed up with the old Flyers regime and all that stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, I become impatient with this team, and it's because of Howie Roseman. Hey, the Eagles. Barb says, "Hey, the Eagles were at the bottom for 60 years. Things changed." Exactly, Barb. Things change. Yeah, but the Eagles, though, Barb, they weren't that bad. Even like, look, I mean, they go from Andy Reid and all the success of early 2000s, and they gave the city an incredible run for years, for almost 20-something years now, Barb. I mean, yes, I will pause. 2014 till about until Howie kind of took over the ship in about 2017. For those years, yes, they were some down years. I mean, really, other than the Dream Team, that was really their down year. But I think that we got the excitement of Chip Kelly. That would have lasted for a cup of coffee. But there was always something. Winning is everything. Yes, Barb. Yes, Barb. And that's where I say about Howie Roseman, Barb. Steve! Cousin Steve has checked into the show. He says they did this. Yes. Matty B won't admit it. This is all Howie. Howie has changed things. Look at the drop-off from the Eagles to what's going on in the Wells Fargo Center. A slop fest. Nobody wants to go in there no more. Not ticket sellers for the Sixers. Not ticket sellers for the Flyers. Nothing. The Phillies are run with the same team. Nothing. Howie has done things. Howie has set the bar, set the tone in Philadelphia sports that no other franchise in this team. I love Matty. He's the best. Yes, he is the best. So he's. I love Matty B. I don't know if he's gone on the canoe with Howie. I don't know. But And like I said, I love this hockey team. I love this basketball team. I love this baseball team. I love all the teams here. Everyone knows it. Howie's a genius. Howie is a genius. He knows how to will deal. He builds through draft. He knows how to make trades. He does things that are right. I would never have thought in my life I was going to ever see a Super Bowl, let alone 2. And that's all been under the Howie Roseman regime. Howie has scouted this team. He does everything right? He moved on from a head coach. I know we kind of went down a different path here, but it is what it is. People like to have these casual conversations. Howie has moved on from Dougie. He's moved on from Carson. He's moved and brought in a way better team. And when things were working last year, he moved on from the offense and defensive coordinator and brought in Vic Fangio. Brought in, I mean, it's just amazing what he's done with this franchise. Barb says how he sold his soul to the devil. Nothing lasts forever. Remember, nothing lasts forever. Remember, yes, but enjoy it, Barb. We are the world champions of football, of the NFL. We are. Enjoy it. That's why I say enjoy the rides, man. And Howie training is probably going to come to an end sometime, but his tenure, bringing this city not one but two parades, a Super Bowl contender every year. Like the Eagles franchise in the last 20 years, other than a few years, has been more time than not has been good, has been exciting. Other than what, year 3 of Chip or year 2 of Chip and the Dream Team era. I mean, really, can you really and last year was really disappointing, but still 10 wins last year. Cousin Steve says Keith Jones needs to seriously pull a front office power play. Yes, I agree, Steve. He definitely needs to make a move. When bringing Keith Jones and bringing in Danny Breer, I was probably one of the few that were excited because with the picks that they were making last year, and just remember last year, they sat in that 6th seed for 3/4 of the season. Things fell apart when Carhart unfortunately had to lead the team for off the ice reasons. They had to move on. Barb says, I'm more of a baseball and a hockey girl, really, but I really like the other teams too. Yeah, Barb, listen, and I'm glad, it's because I do want to talk Phillies. And I did have that in my deck of cards here on my paperwork, right? I do have a deck of cards that want to talk Phils. Cousin Steve says, I see very little future talent at this point. This is like the GD in 1984 New Jersey Devils. Yeah, this is very little. The future is, I don't know about that. I see very little future and talent at this point. Yeah, listen. Owen Tippen's a keeper. If I had to pick who would go for next year, like I said, I like Owen Tippett. I like Mitch Koff and Travis Connectby. Outside of that, as far as scoring, consistently, I mean, yeah, like people got excited from seeing a couple goals from Bobby Brink, and people get excited from seeing some production from Ryan Pulling, but it's not consistent enough. This is a sink or swim business. That's what sports is. Barb, you're funny. Cal Pearson cost us the playoffs. Yeah, well, Cal Pearson shouldn't sniff the ice anymore. He shouldn't sniff phantom hockey, let alone any kind of hockey rink. I want to see, Joe House says, I want to see Rick Tocchet get the Flyers job if Torres gets fired. Yeah, but what's that do for you, Joe? Another ex-Flyer coming in here and take over the reins. What does that do? I enjoy him at the commentary booth on the national game levels. No offense, and I love Rick Tocchet, but that doesn't. Again, that's not moving the needle for me. It's not really. I'm not getting excited. I rather enjoy, I don't know, an outsider's perspective. But then again, we've done that with Dave Haxel. Let's see, look at how that panned out too, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for this hockey team. I don't know. I wish that I did. I think it's something internal. I think this team has been cursed since '75. I can't take it. I can't take this hockey club. It pains me. It sucks. But like I said, I want to talk some Phillies because the season is right around the corner. And trying to have conversations with people. And if people don't know, I am a beat reporter for the Philadelphia Wings, and I'm all over the place as far as covering sports. And the John conversation I had with all the beat reporters about this team, it's I don't know. There's no really vibe, and I don't know if last year the way they got, I don't know, if wax is too strong of a word, by the Mets, left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because you're running with the same team. It's just for the teams another year older. People are really excited for the pitching staff. You're going to have the same lineup, and does that really excite you? Is this just another postseason team, and that's it? I mean, can you really buy in and say this team is a World Series contender? I don't think so. Steve says there's no other coach except maybe Gerard that could get anything more out of this current group. Gerald Gerard. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I don't know. I don't know, Steve. Gerald Goldman, I don't know. Again, you could put. I don't know. I don't know if there could be anything else that's going to work. I don't. Barbara says the Flyers have had top-tier coaches. Usually the roster sucks. And that's the thing too, Barb, right? You got to move on from Coots. He does nothing for this team. He hasn't done nothing for this team in the past 5-6 years. He gets a lucky goal here and there, and people go nuts like he's been a consistent player for all year. He had, to me, a couple good games here and there, a couple good goals. Like, other than very early in the season in that Minnesota game, and a couple decent plays that when he was on that, what was it, the Couturier, Tippett, and Mitchkov line that seemed to be clicking for a little bit. He's done nothing. You got to move on from him. Like, it's crazy. Like, again, last year, we didn't label anyone to be the captain. They had a decent year, and now it's like, all right, we're going to make Coots the captain because of his longevity, and it doesn't do anything. Again, I can't move forward with this hockey team. I don't know if I can move forward with any of the other three teams, to be honest. Again, I'm gonna, excited. It's gonna be a whole brand new baseball season. You gotta have that in the back of your mind. But I don't know. I don't know what's if this Phillies team can be back to what they were 3 years ago. Yes, they're going to have great wins, but again, to me, it just goes back to a little before the All-Star break last year when I seen them get walloped by the Oakland A's. When they got spanked here by the Oakland A's, mind you. Well, I think it was like 18-3 or something like that. It was something wild. I had to do the post game last year, and that was dreadful. But just the way that they were swinging the bats, and they were just trying to be over aggressive and try to crush that ball. It really didn't pay off for them. Didn't pan out. And the way they just came up small against the Mets. They had one good series against the Mets. One good game against the Mets in that series. And now the Mets got a little, we all know Mets got a little stronger. Again, Steve says what I just said. I wonder if the laws left a bad taste in the Phil's mouths. Yeah, and listen, that's a good point, Steve. You're hoping that it did that's their anger and they're looking to get back on the field and looking to, we got slapped around by the Mets. We're here to, and they're going to go on this wild run. That's just to be optimistic. And by the way, guys, look at this: the fighting finals right here, Philly. The 2025 season, Sunday, March 23rd. This Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Ooh. Join the crew. It's going to be a lot of fun. Matt, Al, Mike, Big Sal, all be involved. It's back. The fighting finals is back. Barb says Trey has to lead off. No more Schwarber there. Barb, I've been calling that card for a couple of years now. Matty B has been calling that card for a couple of years. I would love to see Trey lead off. I would love to see Trey be your leadoff hitter. I'm with you. For some reason, Topper, and let's make things comfortable for Kyle Schwarber. That's where he likes to. That's where he hits bad. Listen, he's a major league hitter. He should be able to hit wherever you place him, and that's it. If he's doing cleanup duty, he's doing cleanup duty. He shouldn't be where he best. He should be just lucky he's in the lineup. And yes, I agree with you, Barb. You need to put other pieces there. Trey would be a great addition to that top of the lineup. Start to be your leadoff guy. Joe Howe says, I love the Phillies starting a rotation. I love the pickup of Max Kepler. The Phillies bench scares me. Listen, it's the same team. It's not getting excited for. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, other than Max Kepler, I mean, yeah, you made some decent tweaks to the start rotation, but again, it's the same Phillies lineup. The Brandon Marshes, the Rojas's. Is Rojas going to be able to produce at the plate? I mean, come on. Barbara says Bryce Harper has to produce. No more excuses for him. Barb. Yeah, and listen, it's baseball, right? It's a long season. A lot of these guys, they go on their cold spills. They go on the cold. They get cold. They wind up getting hot. He's one of the few, though. Don't have an issue with. That being said, I think he could be a little bit more productive, but again, he's one of the few I don't worry about. I'm not saying because I'm a Bryce Harper fan, because he's one of the guys I can lean on. He's one of the guys I can lean on. Joe Al says, I'm not sold on Garrett Stubbs as our backup catcher. Dude, I mean, yeah, but yeah, and listen, nobody really is. I mean, listen, again, once in a while he'll have a nice little pop in the bat, but you're right. I'm with you, Joe. No one's really hitching their wagon about Garrett Stubbs being the backup catcher. You know what I mean? Again, at this point, are you real excited about JT Realmuto? I mean, we all get it. He's got a great defense. No one will ever take that away. Phillies are kind of a ignorant, arrogant, Dombrowski, Harper, Middleton, etc. Just win. I'm with you. I want to see no more arrogance. I want to see the team win. But, Barb, I don't know if they can. They didn't have no excuses 3 years ago. They were just outplayed by Houston. Then I thought they were going to run it back. They had the Diamondbacks on the ropes. and they collapse at home. Steve says, if I was making the bank, I would be I'd be racing just fine. Listen, it's funny, Steve. It's if I was saying, okay, I gotcha. Steve, I don't know, Steve. Where are you with this team? Because I'm not sold, and again, I'm not excited. Oh my God, the Phillies preview suite. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm just not excited. A lot of people are. Again, Joe Howe goes. I think Ty Walker is going to be dealt. Yeah, but who wants him? And he's going to come out of the bullpen, okay? But he doesn't do anything. He sucks. You want to talk about a player that sucks? He sucks. Ty Walker stinks. I didn't want him come here in the first place. Every time we played it, when he was with the Mets, every time we played him, we would wax him. He brings nothing. He can't even suit up for a postseason game. And not just as a starter, he can't suit up anywhere. Now the bullpen, anywhere. He stinks. He can't suit up to be a closer. They don't trust him. Why is he here? I don't know. I'm with you, Steve. This is the number one key right here. The Phillies age should scare Dave Dombrowski. Key, age. These guys are all another year older. They might lose a pop in their bat. Steve, you nailed it right on the head. Age. Age is going to play a key factor on this team. But we're going to find out what kind of team they're going to be in a few weeks. Barker says, I need 35 to 40 hours, 110 RBI hours. Wow. Sorry, my fault. I need 35 to 40 home runs, 110 RBIs from Harper. Where is it? That's wishful thinking. I think you'll be close to 35. 110 RBIs. 110 RBIs? I don't think that's going to happen either. I think he'll be under 100 RBIs this season. Here we go. Thank you, Maddie. 145 games. His most since 2019. Batting average 285. 30 home runs, 87 RBIs. So he had a very productive year. He was named 2024 NL All-Star, starting first baseman. Like I said, he's one of the few pieces you don't have to worry about. One of the few people in the lineup. We got to hope that Nick Castellanos could catch fire. I mean, Nick Castellanos had a very good first half last year. We know the story. We got to hope that Trey Turner can play very well, be very productive. Shouldn't need the fans to uplift him every time he goes through a cold streak. Nick Castellanos, 162 games, a 254 batting average, 23 home runs, 86 RBIs. He played in every game in 2024. Yes, I like Nick. I like Nick. He's a workhorse, no doubt. I love, when he brings his son to the game. I love the whole story there. It's beautiful. Trey Turner. Matt's doing a great job with all these graphics. Trey Turner, 102 games, 295 batting average, 21 home runs, 62 RBIs, 807 OPS, committed 17 hours, missed 6 games with a hamstring injury. That's scary, too. there are some times where he does make those dumb blooper errors in when he's playing short. He does, man. He makes some bloopers. They're unexcusable. That stuff that you learn when you're playing T-ball. Fundamental mistakes he makes out there in the field. It's not good enough. Barb, another one. I'm with you. You're spot on. I personally can't take Marsh anymore. Like, the gimmick's over for me. The long hair, the beard. Yeah, it was cool. Him to get occasional pop in the bat. I'm over it. Brandon Marsh, 135 games. 249 batting average. 16 home runs, 60 RBIs. OPS is 747. Yeah, he doesn't do it for me. I'm out on him. I'm with you, Barb. I'm out. He doesn't do anything. Again, it's the same team, but older, Barb. Same team. Oh, they're going to try to run it back one more time. Scared. So if you guys had a crystal ball laying in front of you, where do you see this Phillies team winding up? What's your expectations? Do you think they're going to make the postseason? Do you think they're going to make a deep run in the postseason? Do you think they're not going to make the postseason? I'm with you here, Joe. I can't wait to see Andrew Painter. What do you guys think? What's your expectations of this Phillies team? I think they're going to fall where they did last year. I think they're going to make it to the first round of the postseason and then find that first round exit. Barber says Nola is in a regular season form already. He gave up 2 home runs today in 4 innings. That's all right, Barb. Again, another year older Nola and Wheeler. On paper, one of the best rotations. Steve says only a matter of time before the violent swing starts causing aggravated back issues. Yeah. And that's like I said, when you put this Phillies team, their backs against the wall, I see it with Ballm all the time. I see it with Harper. They swing at what they go golfing. They swing anything low in the dirt. It's like they don't even know how to play fundamental baseball when you really put this team under pressure. Barr says if Harper plays more games, he'll do more than Alonso and Soto do. Yeah. Yeah, Barr. Like I said, you don't have to worry about Harper. It's the rest of the lineup. I kind of, and if when he goes cold, it's going to be ay. And if the start lineup on paper is not going to be matched up to what the expectations are, like because them being another year older, it's going to be scary. It's just going to be scary for me. Joe House says, I hope Bryson Stott has a bounce back year. I think a lot of people are hoping for that, hoping for some. And like I said, not last year, the year before. Again, remember, he won that 16-game hitting streak. I think a lot of people want to see that, but I don't know if you're going to get that. It's not. That was I hate to say it, I think it was a little bit of a fluke, but I don't think you're going to get that kind of play out of Bryson Stott. But we'll see what happens. But listen, I'm up against it here. One more from Barb. She goes, I like Trey. He'll do what he does in his whole career. He's damaged goods. Oh, man, he's damn good. I don't know. He's got his up and downs moment, Trey, Barb, to be honest with you. Steve goes, my only hope is Rojas starting to have power in the other way. Yeah, I don't see it. Barga, the Phillies are fair to win the East Division. Playoffs is another. You're right. I'm with you. I can see them winning the NL East, but I'm with you, Barb. I think postseason it's just going to be a one and done. But anyway, listen. Like I said, I want Rinko, Crawford, Painter. Have a very least by July. Hey, listen, reach. We'll talk more Phillies coming up. Like I said, this Sunday morning, join Matty B, join Al, join Mike, join Sal at 11 a.m. Getting you ready for a Philly season because the Phillies are right around the corner. It's next week. We're gonna have the baseball. We'll have a little life in Philadelphia sports because the two teams at the Wells Fargo Center just drove us into the ground. But we're gonna have life back. We just gotta hope we start on the right track. And here you are, guys. Look at the lineup. Thursday next week, the season opener with Matt and Big Sal. Then you get Saturday with my man Mike, and then Sunday to finish it off, you have my man Matty B to end the series against the Washington Nationals. So, guys, do yourself a favor. If you're checking me out for all my followers, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to It's a Wrap Sports, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Yes. yes. I'm actually back in the house because Steve Pat Bernard, the Gobbler, is back in the house. So, yes, this is going to be EOP part 2. But, yes, all your familiar faces are back. But like I said, it's a wrap. It's a good night. See you next time. See you next time, Bart. But listen, it's a wrap. Do your guys yourself a favor. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Get all your notifications on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook. It doesn't matter. It's a wrap is everywhere. It's everywhere. So, guys, do yourself a favor. If you haven't subscribed, get your notifications. Get every time we go live. Join us. This is the up-and-coming hottest thing going. All right, guys. Have a good night. Your boy, Pat Bernard. I'm out of here.